the sound of a marching band, the wave of a beauty queen, the prancing of a horse, and the smile of a clown. KBYU-TV Channel 11 is proud to join with America's Freedom Festival in presenting the Grand Parade. Live July 4th at 9 a.m. and with an encore presentation at 10 p.m. that evening. Watch Utah's family station as we celebrate America's birthday. Parade style.
Programming is made possible by viewers like you and by Magic 107.5 FM, where the magic is the music, bringing the Wasatch Run today's hits and yesterday's favorites, such as Billy Joel, Whitney Houston, Phil Collins, and Gloria Estefan, and many more.
This is Utah's family station, KBYU-TV Channel 11, Provo, Salt Lake City.
America's largest Independence Day parade is about to begin.
We're happy to bring you marching bands, beauty queens, clowns, beautiful floats, and much, much more.
KBYU Television, Utah's family station, and America's Freedom Festival are proud to present the 1991 Grand Parade, live from Provo, Utah. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Tom Griffith.
And I'm Cammie Dixon. We're glad to bring you minute-by-minute coverage of this year's Freedom Festival Parade from Provo, Utah.
Today we're celebrating 215 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Happy birthday, America. And with us out and about on the street is Chad Curtis.
Good morning, Tom and Cammie. There's a strong feeling of exhilaration and excitement here on the parade route today. We're here on Center Street here in Provo, and these people behind me, they're ready for the start of the 1991 America's Freedom Festival Grand Parade. Now, many of these people have actually been here since early this morning, some as early as 3 and 4 o'clock, to hold their places so they have a good vantage point to see the floats, the performers, the dancers, the whole works. We're ready to go over here, Tom and Cammie.
Well, it sounds like lots of fun, and Chad will be out there looking for snow cones, balloons, and clowns, and maybe a couple of beauty queens.
That's right. That's right.
We want to let you know that if you're watching this live, you can set your VCR and record it for playback later. If you miss out, we are going to rebroadcast the parade at 10 o'clock tonight. So just a program note to let you know that we're doing it live, and we're also coming back for a rebroadcast tonight at 10 o'clock. Provo's Freedom Festival actually began several weeks ago with dozens of wonderful activities.
Absolutely. And one of those activities was the baby parade, the baby contest, actually, with the Disney adventure theme. Our KBYU-FM reporter Brian Kay tells us all about it.
No, it's not Disneyland. It's the Freedom Festival Baby Contest. And organizers this year decided to give it the Magic Kingdom flair. There's Minnie Mouse, the Little Mermaid, and some of her good friends, and, well, not so good friends. There's Sleepy and Dopey. But this is no Mickey Mouse contest. This is serious business.
This year we're giving a trip to Disneyland, and I think that got everybody's interest sparked, and that is a door prize, so everyone has a chance.
Did she say Disneyland? That sounds like a great idea, but is that the only reason people are entering the contest? I don't think so.
This is our first baby, and we think he's pretty cute, and we think he might as well give him a shot.
My little girl was in the baby contest last 2 years and has won the novelty division that she was in, so we thought it'd be fun this year again to enter him.
Disney's latest animated film, The Little Mermaid, inspired many of the costumes for this year's contest, like this Sebastian or this mermaid. Others decided to stick to classic Disney characters.
Which door busy? He is Dopey. I'm sorry?
Why did you decide Dopey?
We figured because of the size of his ears. He got his father's ears, and Dopey had pretty large ears, so we figured that would be the right choice.
But if a child doesn't win, all the work that went into his costume won't be in vain. Remember, Halloween is just around the corner. At Provo High School, Brian Kay, KBYU-TV.
Real soon.
Well, I'm sure the judges must have had a difficult time choosing the winners.
Oh,
Lots
they're
of choices
darling,
there.
all of them. Well, we know that they're really cute.
They
They're
did come to
headed up
some
our way.
conclusion, didn't they?
They sure did. They sure did. We're going to meet them very soon. They're going to be heading through on the parade route.
There it is, a UTA trolley with winners aboard from the baby contest. And I'm going to try this, probably miss on a couple of them. Cammie, you're going to have to help me. Brian Brock, Alex Hironaka, Katie Kuehl, Michaela Marchant, Brianna, I'm not sure how we pronounce that. That's
Brianna
wrong.
Mason.
Brianna Mason. Okay. You want to take it from there?
Absolutely.
It's getting harder, so I'm
Teal
going to
Morton,
let you do this.
Cammie Pryor, Kyle Sika-Kwaktua, Cameron Smith, Tegan Torres, and Jacob Woodcox, winners of the baby contest this year.
Okay.
That was actually, Tom, in the novelty category. Now, these are the grand prize winners that we're going to name right now.
Okay. Go for it.
The Daryl Ballard family from Highland, Utah. And they're headed down the street shortly. Right now, what we're seeing is the very end of the trolley where the novelty winners of the baby contest for 1991's Freedom Festival are headed.
That's a great trolley. No troublesome rails or lines overhead or anything like that. Here come the grand prize winners coming down the road. And we talked about the Daryl Ballard family from Highland also. And Chad Curtis is out on the street.
One of the things you're definitely going to see along the parade route this year are balloons. As you can see behind me, many people brought bright, colorful balloons to reflect their attitudes and reflect their feelings on the Freedom Festival parade today. Another one of the more colorful events of the Freedom Festival parade this year is the Balloon Festival. Festival balloonists from all across the country come to Provo each year to participate in the Freedom Festival Ballooning Festival. What a fun experience it must be to ride on one of those balloons.
Okay. All righty, Chad. I don't know, our director said something like we lost the parade. Could that be possible?
I think this is probably the first time something like that has ever happened. You know, Chad just talked about the Balloon Festival, and that's an exciting thing that takes place during the Freedom Festival celebration, but there's so many things that have been taking place. Most of it's over. By the time you get to the parade, you've missed a lot of this gigantic celebration here in Provo. One of the things is the speech contest that takes place every year.
Sure.
Kids sit down and write these wonderful essays, things that usually kids hate to do in school, they do for this speech contest. And they had that on June 18th and the 25th as they eliminate more and more people. They had some lectures this year. The Constitution and You was the title of that lecture series, and so that was a nice addition to the Freedom Festival this year. The awards gala and mayor's ball was sort of poignant this year, I think, because they chose Betty Mahmoudi, the inspiration for the movie Not Without My Daughter, for one of the winners, and Teddy Kollek, the mayor of Jerusalem for 24 years. They both were recipients of the Freedom Festival Award from Provo.
And if those things sound interesting to you and you missed out on them this year, mark it on your calendar because it's an annual event. And they have all of these activities each year, and make sure that you participate. Things happen usually starting about 2 weeks before July the 4th, so watch the papers and get in on the activities and participate. That's what being a citizen of these great United States is all about, participation.
Absolutely. You know, my husband was sad that he missed out on the golf tournament this year. He didn't know about it.
Ah, yes, he did. Okie doke. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back with you, so don't touch that dial.
10 years have passed since the Declaration of Independence, but America's hopes for a united country are dangerously threatened. Fragmented states continually bicker over currencies, trade, taxation. But a handful of brilliant, courageous men, James Madison, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, led a 3-year diplomatic battle that culminates in Philadelphia. Now, an exciting new motion picture recreates that dramatic event. A More Perfect Union, the first comprehensive film enactment of the birth of the Constitution. The United States Constitution, completed and ratified, launched the newly United States on its voyage.
See A More Perfect Union Sunday, June 30th at 7 p.m. and Thursday, July 4th at 8 p.m. on KBYU, Utah's family station.
Where is it? Oh, yeah. Was that good timing or what?
That's wonderful.
One of the big exciting events that goes on during the Freedom Festival, Cammie was talking about some of the great lectures and awards that are presented. Another fun activity that kind of gets folks up in the air are balloons. Watch this. And high overhead, we have those infamous or famous, depending on which side you're on, Apache attack helicopters.
You could probably tell us a little more about them than I can, right?
Well, I don't know. They have one of those big
propeller things.
They have one of those
top.
big propeller things on top, and somehow it magically keeps them in the air. I don't know. They go very fast, and they're the kind of thing that if you happen to be on the ground and you're a soldier on the opposite side, you don't want to see these things coming.
That's right. We're going to see a big presence today of military paraphernalia, so that'll be something to look forward to. Now, the Children's Parade is headed our way, and this is kind of a fun thing. They have their parade a little bit before this 4th of July parade, and that kind of prepares them for this big event when they get a little bit older. So that's
and we have fun. And we have the advantage of videotape sometimes to help us out too. So the Children's Parade and the winners and all that sort of stuff, we're going to see something.
They know exactly what to say.
That's right.
Now, a little bit earlier, the Tongan Society passed us by, so we probably won't see them on the parade today, but they are one of the top 4 winners in the junior parade this year. Beautiful float with these wonderful Tongan children in their leis and their traditional outfits singing as they went down the street. One of the other entries that won in the junior parade this year was the Utah Angels, a little drill team from American Fork, and I've seen them before. They're absolutely darling. The Peterson cousins, that's another entry, a family that all got together, and they will be headed our way very soon. They're from Orem. They'll be on a Caterpillar trip, so that'll be fun as well. Now, the other top winner in the junior parade was the Provo Grandview State. There were about 40 kids all dressed up, ready to march down the street, walk their little legs off. So they'll be headed down a little bit later. We had a cannon headed our way, the traditional cannon from the Sertoma Club.
That's right, and we're going to go visit Chad if we don't lose all our hearing here in about a moment. stand by. Here's the cannon. We've got, where's the cannon? The
This
Sertoma
cannon has been opening the parade for 15 years. It's really exciting to have this tradition continuing on. People know that the parade is headed their way once they hear those cannon shots.
Richard Bagley, Dean Benson, Doug Beardall, Tom Rasmussen, and John Stringham with their ears stuffed with cotton, no doubt, because they're manning the famous Sertoma Club cannon. The Sertoma is a service club, by the way, formed about 60 years ago, Cammie. Local business and community leaders, all members of that organization.
And they serve a special interest group as well. They have an emphasis on helping the speech and hearing impaired.
They're going to help us right after they shoot the cannon.
They'll need to. They'll need to.
And Sertoma also aids those who are financially strapped to get therapy, hearing aids, and diagnostic services. We have a man on the street who needs no hearing assistance, and that is Chad Curtis.
Tom and Cammie, I'm here with Lisa Walker. Now, Lisa is an 11-year-old. She goes to Mazer Elementary. She's going to be in the 6th grade when the school year starts again in another couple of months. And if there's one thing Lisa knows, it's that parades are meant for children. Lisa, how many years have you been coming to the Freedom Festival Parade?
Since I was a baby, about 7, 8 years.
What do you like best about the parade? Is it the clowns or is it the bands? What is it you like?
The dance was the Angels, my favorite, really.
Have you ever performed in a parade?
I was in the children's parade, but that's the only one I've ever done.
A lot of children here today, Tom and Cammie, making sure that that these parade people are pleasing the children. That's their role here today on the parade route.
Okay, Chad, thanks very much. Well, we have lots of balloons and stands over across the way. That's kind of an improvement from last year, Cammie. I think the stands they had, such as they were a bit rickety. This is a new setup.
This looks a lot more sturdy, a lot more enjoyable for the crowd to
Actually, the one we're sitting in is a lot more enjoyable also. Well, coming up, we have the Civil War, at least our parade version of the Civil War. The Union 81st Pennsylvania Infantry Regiment, marched by Captain Jared Cornell.
And the Confederate 13th Virginia Infantry Regiment, marched by Sergeant Patrick Brown.
There are 2 company-sized formations that, for those of you who are uninitiated, about 15 people in each. They have the flags, the rifles, and as you can see, bayonets fixed for action. Are they going to charge, or are they just, here we go, we're going to march at least. This is an entry, Cammie, from the Union and Confederate War Association, which is a non-profit historical association. They're committed to educating the public on the American Civil War. Boy, what right on cue. Was that good or what?
And that comes from the Revolutionary War, folks.
And I have to tell you that PBS knows all about the Civil War. And those of you who watch Channel 11 know about the Civil War, too.
Channel 11 is definitely the place to be. I hear the fife and drum in the background there. Another part of the Freedom Festival that's always exciting is the Clogging Festival. It's part of the Freedom Festival celebrations. Almost 1,000 cloggers gather to tap their toes and click their heels in the National Clogging Festival. Reporter Eric Bolander takes a look at the festival and the unique American dance form of clogging.
The festival, held at the Sierra Outdoor Theater in Orem, brings together the best cloggers from all around the country. Clogging Festival Chairman Dennis Cobia says clogging fits well with the Freedom Festival celebration because of the American heritage of the dance.
It's a dance that has all the ethnic characteristics of America and Europe, and just kind of epitomizes that evolutionary type movement.
For the cloggers, their performance is the culmination of hours and even years of practice.
They take a lot of practice. These kids, when they have to be ready to dance, they usually dance 3 or 4 times a week to rehearse, 2 or 3 hours a day.
Most cloggers in this festival are children or teenagers. Cobia says in Utah, the dance is more popular among young people.
Most of the people that are in clogging in the United States are adults, but not out west. Out west, 90% of our cloggers are children. So we're really proud of that. We're one of 3 states in the Union that have more children clogging than adults.
The main reason clogging is a hit among the youth is because they can apply the dance to the beat of their music, adding in their own way to the evolution of clogging. In Orem, I'm Eric Bullender, KBYU-TV.
And clogging is always a fun activity. My children were involved in that for a few years, and we got the opportunity of traveling around and performing, and they love to do that. They like to travel. They like to, I mean, we're talking major toe tapping here and toe stomping.
This seems to be the area for that. We had the Clogging Festival, Square Dance Festival last week in Salt Lake. Now, this year's Clogging Festival included a team representing the U.S. in France. It was Clog America. And as part of the festival, dancers are hosted with picnics and tours of Utah's historic areas and a trip to Seven Peaks.
Well, a big parade like today's involves thousands of people, as I'm sure most know, working together to make the show go on. But maybe you're not really familiar with all that happens. One group of people that does their part, and an essential part, by providing communications along the parade route we're going to take a look at now, courtesy of this report from Paul Shoemaker. Watch.
Keith McQueen is a ham radio operator. He's commander of the Sheriff's Communication Auxiliary Team, also known as the SCAT Team, overseeing today's festivities.
40 to 50 amateur radio operators are in the background of today's parade, carrying small portable radios like this one. Some are on feet and some are in their cars, making sure everything runs smoothly.
You probably don't even notice them behind the scenes with all the hubbub of the parade, but they tackle problems from lost kids to medical emergencies.
Last year, we had an incident where a spectator in the parade had a heart attack. And we were able to not only report that to the authorities, but direct the ambulance into the area more quickly than could ever have been possible without the aid of the amateur radio.
In addition to solving problems, the amateur radio enthusiasts enjoy sharing their hobby with the public.
They're a tremendous benefit to the county because they provide a volunteer service at a minimal cost to the county that we couldn't duplicate with tens of thousands of dollars.
So remember, when you see these radio volunteers today, they're not only saving tax dollars, they're also making sure you watch an enjoyable parade. This is Paul Shoemaker for KBYU-TV.
And it's good to know that we have all that communication, and actually I wasn't wanting to get involved here until I knew that they could take care of a heart attack if it happens, because I sort of feel that way occasionally here.
You'd hate to be in that situation for sure.
Stay with us. We're providing live coverage of Provo's American Freedom Festival Parade, downtown Provo.
Backed by popular demand, the Lawrence Welk performers are coming live in concert to Symphony Hall on Saturday, August 31st at 7 p.m. Presented by KBYU-TV with additional support from the Deseret News and KDYL AM Radio. Come spend an enchanting evening with Myron Florin, Sandy Griffiths, Tom Netherton, Bobby Burgess, and Barbara Boylan. Tickets go on sale Monday, July 8th, and are $15 each. $12 if you are a KBYU-TV member or a senior 50 or over. Tickets are available at the Salt Palace box office and at all Smithsix locations. Ever wanted to meet these talented performers? Come to the KBYU members-only VIP reception at Symphony Hall 1 hour before the performance. VIP tickets are $18 and are only available through KBYU. Price includes entrance to the reception and concert admission. Call 378-0050 during business hours and have your credit card ready. Space is limited, so reserve your VIP tickets now. Come mingle with Myron, Sandy, Tom, Bobby, and Barbara.
Take a vacation from ordinary TV this summer by watching KBYU TV. Thanks to many loyal Channel 11 members, we're bringing you some great getaway programs like The Adventures of Robin Hood, The Wonderful World of Disney, and a new series of Evening at Pops. Be sure to watch for our vacation letter in your mailbox. Send your contribution to KBYU TV, Provo, Utah, 84602. and enjoy your pledge-free vacation on Channel 11, Utah's family station.
Hi again, live from downtown Provo, America's Freedom Festival Parade. We're happy to be with you. Tom Griffith with Cammie Dixon. And the Price of Freedom, Cammie, is this year's festival theme. Most of the activities have emphasized that theme throughout the month, as does the parade.
Today we're going to introduce you to some local residents who have returned from active duty during Operation Desert Storm. Many of Utah's servicemen and women will participate in today's parade, several of which experience firsthand the price of freedom.
Watch.
Come from varied backgrounds, they're different ages, and they do different things in life. They lived, laughed, and cried together for 8 months in the Persian Gulf. They're the members of the 120th Quartermaster Detachment Unit, and they were called to serve in the Gulf August 24th, 1990. Although they weren't on the front lines, they provided support for those who were, and many of the trials they encountered and sacrifices they made were similar.
It's mainly the uncertainty of the family, you know, how they have to deal with you not being there and they not knowing what you're really doing.
Being away from my wife, my boys, that's the hardest thing.
Are you happy your daddy's back home now? How did you feel when your daddy was gone?
Sad.
Desert Storm veterans say the support they received from the American people made their time in the Gulf easier.
Whether somebody was for or against the call-up and the deployment of soldiers, they seemed to put that aside and support the people that were over there.
We received any soldier letters, and we received a lot of moral support from people that would write, and there was always mail.
The support that was given us was outstanding, and we just couldn't believe how everybody got on the bandwagon and really rallied around us and supported us and supported our families at home.
These veterans say the price of freedom is worth paying.
Before I came home, I met a Kuwaiti family that was on their way back to Kuwait, and I met the children, and that made it all worthwhile.
I think it's worth it, and I think we appreciate our country more after that.
Janie Harrison for KBYU TV.
With live coverage of the war from the Persian Gulf, there was renewed interest in military vehicles. Utah is the home to at least 50 old military vehicles restored by hobbyists and professionals alike.
Sounds fun. We're going to see them in a moment.
Kevin Kitchen reports.
We found a freeway up there and towed it to...
George Stokes found his treasure abandoned by a freeway in Billings, Montana. A 1941 Dodge Command car, the kind General Patton might have rode in.
And they were used generally for general staff officers as their vehicle or radio command or reconnaissance. The Jeep was used mostly for many other projects.
Stokes put about $3,500 into the truck and over 2,000 hours of time, but the challenges weren't limited to simply time and money.
It really did, because we have no drawings or any kind of idea of what to make it to, so most of it was done from just photographs of other units.
Stokes found the dash in Idaho, the bed he welded together from scratch, and the crowning jewel, a radio he found in Arizona. Stokes says Utah is a good place to restore vehicles. There are lots of Army facilities, and many old dusty trucks end up in the shiny lights of Hollywood.
There was one produced just in February here in Park City that'll be released this fall, and both Jack Tomlin from our club and Jim Holmes both had vehicles. They painted some of them in German colors and some of them in U.S. Army to make the movie.
Of course, if you can't see the movie, there's always the parade, or you might catch George and his family in the hills.
We have a lot of fun with it as a family. We've taken it on safaris over to old, like Callio here in Utah on a trip, rabbit hunting and also deer hunting up in the mountains.
Back on the streets, parade goers this year will also see a half-track truck. Provo City was originally worried the vehicle might tear up the road, but they decided to let it roll through anyway. In Provo, Kevin Kitchen, KBYU TV.
And we have live coverage of the parade. We're back with you. Appreciate that background report from Kevin Kitchen. And in front of us, the multi-service color guard. 10 foot. Allied Service Color Guard, by the way, provided by Region 5 Non-Commissioned Officers Academy at Camp Williams. And we welcome them to the parade. And this is, gee, Cammie, this is probably one for you. Welcome home to the troops, because your husband Scott is welcome home, right?
Absolutely. He returned 6 weeks ago from Operation Desert Storm.
And overhead, we have, my friends, the United States Air Force. I think they're F-16s flying overhead. A formation of 4 aircraft.
Probably Sousa March right now.
Cammie, Utah sent hundreds of men and women from its National Guard detachments to fight in Operation Desert Storm, and their leader served this year as the Grand Marshal for today's parade. KBYU's Elise Pinney profiles Major General John Matthews.
Commanding 8,000 personnel, taking care of a family, and flying all over the world may seem like a job for Superman. Major General John Matthews portrays his own version of the Man of Steel on a daily basis. The Major General began his military career while studying at Brigham Young University.
The only reason I wanted to be in the Air Force was to fly airplanes. I didn't covet rank. I just wanted to be able to fly.
Now commanding the Utah National Guard, the Major General still finds time for his family.
I don't think you could perform that kind of assignment if you didn't have support of your family.
The Major General says he's had his own share of hard times in his personal and family life.
I had the experience of losing my wife some time back, and that caused me a great deal of even physical suffering that I didn't realize would occur, and it did not get well until I got her.
When I'm around other people and I recognize the respect that they give him, and to me, he's just John.
Elise Pinney, KBYU TV.
And there he is live, Major General John Matthews. By the magic of television, you have him in the living room, and now you have him on the streets of Provo in the big parade.
Major General Matthews commands the Utah National Guard, Army, and Air. That comprises about 8,000 personnel.
He's a command pilot with over 7,500 flying hours in single-engine fighters, strategic airlift, and aerial refueling tanker aircraft.
He's a former educator for both junior and senior high schools, a principal, in fact, right here in Provo, Symphony High School for a time.
And we certainly congratulate him on being the Grand Marshal in the parade, and especially all of the National Guard and reservists throughout the state of Utah who served in Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Well, in front of us we have the Utah National Guard's proud in one of those famous Humvee vehicles. By the way, Cammie, did you know they're going to have a commercial model of this thing?
I do. It's available for about $40,000.